Hi, everybody. I hope everybody dried off from all that rain. Oh my gosh, I have never seen so many roads that turned into rivers. It was crazy. So I see a bunch of people signing on, and so far everybody who's signing on is getting a reading tonight. So that's really cool. So excited. Hi Joanne. Hi Jeremy. Hi Patricia. Hi Paula. So we're gonna give some time for some people to sign on and realize that we're here. So Mary, hi Mary. Mary is here and she's our moderator again. So she's going to keep track of the comments, and she's going to also type some information for you guys throughout the session tonight, about different specials that I have, different things that are coming up. So just to kind of keep the information flowing, because I don't always have the chance to get to all of that. So, one of the things, let me just see. Actually, I'm going to wait for a few more people to come on before I talk about that. But we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Hi, Francis. Let's see who else is on here. Mary, Francis. Okay. Whoop. Okay. So first of all, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I felt a major shift in my life recently, and it's been really freeing for me. It's been a lot of work, but some things that really helped me was doing what is called a cord cutting, and I've done it with the help of my mentees. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what that is, okay? Because we are offering that as practice for the girls. They are offering to do a cord cutting ceremony for you guys. To get into the real details of it would take a whole hour explaining the process. So I'm going to give you the rundown, okay? So basically there's a method to my madness, okay? So once I explain it, I'll be asking for volunteers for next Saturday. So some of you saw that on my page already. So part of my mentee group is very excited to try out their skills and do a cord cutting and some readings next week. And they're only going to be doing short 10-minute readings at first. And I'm only going to have 4 spots for right now. But if you volunteer and you don't get picked for next week, there's going to be, I'm hoping, people from the next group that want to do it. And also, hopefully, Mary and Jen will want to do more too. I don't participate in those readings, so I want to make that very clear that when you are working with the mentees, I am not participating in that. So I'm just an observer, okay? And then I will ask for your feedback. So I just want to make that clear. So cord cutting can be a very emotional experience for someone, right? We hear people say all the time, I need to cut that tie, or I'm going to cut them out of my life, or I'm cutting ties with that person, right? We hear and we use that quite a bit. Different ways to say it. So we always talk about our connection with somebody, our bond, our tie, and some ties and bonds are very strong, and some are healthy and some are not. So we have casual ties in our daily life, those that naturally fall away or don't really stick with us. Those are like the interactions we have with people when we go to the store, walking through the hallway. Hi, how are you? Those are minimal bonds. So then we have the connections with friends, family, loved ones, animals, situations. Those can all kind of really stick to us. They can really wrap around us and we feel connected to them. And there are times when they can be very damaging to us. And once we're connected or tied to someone, you feel them, right? I mean, how many times have you said that? I'm so connected with them, I can feel them even when they're not near me. And you may feel like you know someone even before you even interact at times. And then as the cord strengthens, it's easier to pick up their energy, and you know certain things, you feel them, you know where they're going to call, you know if they're having a problem, you know if they're having a bad day. The important thing about all of our connections is that the energy should flow back and forth, right? It should flow back and forth. There shouldn't be one person draining the other, and sometimes that happens. We're so drained by that connection. There are reasons to not cut cords with somebody or cut ties with somebody because there is that exchange of energy, right? You're a match on some level, or it's wanted by one or both parties. So there's some part of us or them that needs this attachment. So it's important that we heal those things, right, that are negative in that attachment, because we tend to attract to us what we've always known. So if you're comfortable in a negative environment and that feels, you know, even though you may not like it, but it's comfortable for you, you're going to keep attracting that. And that's what you're going to keep going back to. That when you feel good about something, that's not going to feel normal to you. That's going to feel, you know, God, I feel good. This can't be right. So we fall back to the negative, or we fall back to the, I don't want to say abusive, but it could be abusive, you know, but we fall back to what we have felt in our past, because that's where we're comfortable. Okay. And it's better to feel the emotions and heal it, but sometimes we can't. Sometimes we can't do that. Sometimes we need a little help. And that's when the cord ceremony kind of comes into play. Because those cords and those ties can reattach to us. And if we have not fixed the problem, we're going to fall back into the same pattern, and we don't want to do that. So if we feel through the emotions, we can heal the cord and let it fall naturally. If not, it's beneficial to have somebody assist us in cutting the cords. So Mary Harton, who's our moderator, and Jennifer Deal's watching too. She's done this too. But Mary has taken a special interest in this area. So we're looking for 2 people who want to try that next Saturday. So if you're interested in the cord cutting, let me know. And Jennifer, who's doing very well with and has taken an interest in doing the actual reading part, she's going to be doing that next week. And I'm hoping that with my I have 2 others that are involved, Sue and Tori. I'm hoping that they're going to want to join in and do it too. So then there will be more opportunity for you guys to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to start because we have a lot of readings tonight. So I'm going to start with Deb Bannis Jones. Deb, you know what? It was the weirdest thing, because I'm sitting here, and you guys, for those of you who are new, when I do this, I have my list. So I will sit, and I'll sit quietly, and I just kind of, you know, I say the name, and I kind of close my eyes, and I just kind of think, you know, what do I need to say to this person? And I always ask for the highest good. Give me the highest good for this person. What does this person need to know? What information can I give them? Deb, the first thing I got for you is like, oh my God, the big chill. The big chill. And I'm not talking about the movie, okay? But I want to know who's giving you the big chill right now, because this feels like a situation, and it's one of those situations where I feel like you don't deserve this at all, because I know what a sweet and wonderful person you are, and you know, you don't deserve to be treated this way. How do you want to handle this? It's not enough sometimes to ignore a behavior, which in some instances will make it worse. And this feels like that's one of those times. And I feel like you have to make a plan on how to handle the interactions with this person. I have a feeling, I think I know who this person is. I don't kind of want to say it out loud here, but I feel like I kind of know what this is about. And it feels like this person is just really pissed off at the world. That's the only way to say it. They're pissed off at the world, and they're looking for someone to blame and not take any responsibility for themselves. And I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that to happen either, because it's not going to happen for a while. I think it will eventually, but I think for now, you have to accept it the way it is, know it's not personal, and move on from it. Okay? Donna Kardash. Donna, I kept getting greedy people. And I kept getting that there are a lot of people that are taking from you right now. Not so much material things, right? But I feel like it's what's sucking up your time and your patience. So it's kind of wearing thin. Like there's no consideration for your time. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. We know that our time is valuable, right? We can't get our time back that we spend or give to other people. Okay? And a lot of people don't look at it time that way, as a valuable resource of ours. They don't realize that you sacrifice, time doing something else to be with them, right? We rearrange things. We move things around. We squeeze people in, right? And we try to do everything. And after a while, we might start to feel miserable or resentful. And I don't think people do it on purpose. I think that they just don't realize what goes into it to make it happen for them. They think that it just, it just flows, it just goes. So I need you to be a little bit more vocal when people are asking for your time, and make sure you say something. Like, you don't have to be rude about it, and I don't think you would be. But it's okay to say something like, well, I really want to do this, but I have to move something around to be able to do this with you. I need to reschedule my appointment so that I can do this with you. And that's a nice way of setting your boundary and letting them know that I'll do this, but it does impact me in this way. So don't feel badly about that, because sometimes we have to help people realize what they're doing or expecting of us, because sometimes they don't really get it, okay? Doreen Sherman. So wow, you're finally feeling like you can breathe a little right now. And you've been through so much the past few months, and you really had to take a step back and look at what you needed in your life, right? And I think that you were not sure of how things were going to work out, or how you were going to have things fall into place for you. But I think it's turned out better than you thought. I think that all that anxiety that you had, it's turned out better. And I think that this has been a growing process for you. Meeting new people and finding out how strong you really are. And I love it, because I keep hearing somebody, this is a male voice that keeps saying, stand tall, princess. Oh no, I'm sorry, not stand tall, stand proud. Stand proud, princess, is what he said. Okay. And I apologize if I say this name wrong. Ellen Domaleski Rosen. Okay. So this, Ellen, this kind of made me smile, because this female energy that came through for you she was just funny, sweet, funny. And the first thing is the old car and the ashtray full of cigarettes. And whose car was that? She drove around with like a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and strong female energy, funny, very strong in her beliefs and what her sense of right and wrong was. And she didn't want to hear from anyone if it wasn't something she felt strongly about. Funny, funny woman. But this must be around her time of passing or her birthday. So I would love to know who she is, because she just really lightened my mood today. She seems like a really funny woman. Esperanza Gomez. So Esperanza, I was getting a strong smell of babies around you. That newborn baby smell. And I'm just wondering, is someone having a baby or just had a baby around you? Because I feel like they're being acknowledged by grandma who has passed. It's been said that it was too bad she wasn't here to see them, because she would have loved it. And she's letting you know that she has seen them, and they're beautiful. And she says she met them even before they came here to Earth, okay? So she wants everyone to know that she has seen them. And she's also sending you yellow flowers. And they're not roses. I think they're daffodils. I think they're daffodils, but they're definitely yellow flowers for you. Gina Vitarelli. Okay, Gina, so I just get this feeling of, I'm petting my dog. If you see me, he's over here. Miley, you want to say hi? Want to say hi? No, he doesn't want to say hi. So I get like a tongue twister. I keep getting this feeling of being tongue-tied or not being able to spit it out. I know I feel like that sometimes, but, and you guys are witness to it right here. But, honey, where are you feeling that you cannot speak up right now? You know, because that when you're trying to say what you mean, the words just don't come out right. And it's hard for you to verbalize what you mean. You know, is it that you're afraid of how it's going to be received by the other person or people? Or is it that you aren't sure of exactly what you're feeling, and that makes it hard for you to put it into words? Take your time. Just because someone demands to know, right? Because people will do that. Sometimes someone demands to know what is going on in your mind at that moment in time. If you're not ready, the words are not going to come. It's not going to be easy for you. So ask them to be patient, right? And don't beat yourself up for not being ready to verbalize what you need to. Okay? I think that's very important. Heather Avidable. Okay. Heather, whenever I read you, I get that feeling. It's not a bad feeling. But I get this roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. And I know that you're someone who zips around all the time, you know, and it's hard to keep you in one place. But I'm getting this feeling of, I have to get this done. I have to get this done, like, right now. And it feels like all of a sudden this is weighing on you heavily. And to me, it feels like it has to do with the house. Like feeling like you have to get some things in the house in order. So I want you to take a deep breath and just remember you can only do what you can do. And I don't want you to become unhealthily obsessed with trying to finish it all at once. And we could talk a little bit after, because I feel like there's this energy that sometimes pushes you. And you pick up on it, and I feel like, there's this energy that's kind of pushing you to kind of feel like you have to get some things done. Break it up into smaller projects, right? And tackle it one by one. And you'll still feel accomplished, but it will be easier on yourself and everyone else too. And, you know, is that push to get everything done coming from you or elsewhere, which is kind of what I want to talk to you about. And we could do that offline. Okay. Janet Irish Somerville. So Janet, I was getting bread wrapped in foil. And I want to know who made the bread and who would wrap it in foil, because this person wrapped everything in foil. I was literally smiling because I'm laughing because this woman, and I feel like this is mom or grandma, definitely an older woman, but I feel like it's grandma, and she used foil for everything, you know, much like some men use duct tape for everything. And she's not even embarrassed about it. And I think she got teased for it. I think people used to tease her about, you know, using the foil. But she was well loved, and she's missed very much. And she talks about the month of April, and she talks about the dishes. You have the dishes, and what is the significance of that specific dish set? And know she is near you and looking out for you. So Mary, I think Mary is posting some information. You guys say hi, leave a comment, let us know you're here. Because I'd love to go back and read the comments after. Jeremy Crin. Jeremy, I don't know why that I was sitting here and I just kept hearing like bells. Kind of like alarms, but not as ear piercing as an alarm, but just bells. So my first thought was, what are you timing yourself on? Are you timing yourself on something? You know, like you keep going until the bell rings, and it's important to understand what they represent to you. So are you timing yourself on something? Are the bells trying to get your attention? Is there an area you're ignoring right now that, you know, they're trying to bring your focus and attention back to? It feels important to me that there's so many bells going off, so many, you know, are they warning signs? You know, I think you know what this is, and I think it's important to keep a balance in our lives, and we focus too much in one area, other areas suffer, right? So try and figure out where you need to refocus some of your attention. I think on some level you already know this, and there's a little anxiety for you, right? Because you know you need to pay attention to something. Refocus. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to focus on it just yet. Seems to be a common theme was that everybody's beating themselves up. I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed that people are not happy out in the world right now. Whether it's the way they're driving or just in the stores, like people are just not happy. And it's really sad. And I even see it in the messages that I get from people, all the things that are going on in people's lives. And, you know, I don't know how to help everybody. I try to do the best I can. But we all have to be a little bit nicer to each other. We have to all be a little bit nicer to each other. Say hello, smile, you know, step back, let somebody walk in front of you, especially when you're driving. Oh my gosh, like people are just cutting people off, and I hear about it. I hear people talking about it, and it's kind of sad that we've gotten to this point where people are just so angry, and I feel like there's a lot of people that don't know how to deal with that anger, or they don't even realize that they're angry, right? All right, that's my soapbox for now. Joanne Collins. So Joanne, it's been trying for you lately, to say the least. And I keep hearing, you know, I'm biting my tongue because there are so many things you want to say, and you're trying not to step on any toes and not make things worse. And it feels like this situation was out of your control to begin with. It's not something that you can control or navigate it to where you think it should be. But it does impact you. And it also feels like they ask for your thoughts and opinions, right? They want to know, well, tell me what you think. Tell me, what would you do? But then they don't do anything to make it better. And that's the part, I think, for you that gets frustrating, because you see the answer very clearly, right? And again, it's one of those situations where we have to let people have their experience and learn their own lessons. We don't want to interfere. But know that what you're feeling is out of love and caring, and it's going to get better. This will pass, and things are going to get better soon, okay? Jody Garcia. So Jody, I kept getting, I heard the word frequency around you, frequency, that you're on this different frequency than those around you lately. And I get that you're feeling it a lot. So I felt like I needed to tell you that it's not in your head. You've just gotten through something, and it kind of changed you and your perception of, you know, not only your world, but the people in it, right? So when people are talking, you hear things and you interpret it differently. So it may not resonate with you the way it used to, right? So now you're feeling different in places that used to be familiar to you. And that's okay. Don't be afraid of that, okay? You want to acknowledge that and realize that you may have to make some changes to what you do and who you do things with. But you don't have to cut people out of your life, okay? A lot of people think that just because they're growing and changing, they have to cut people. You don't have to cut people out. You may just have to adjust things so that you're comfortable and allow yourself to open up to new people and new experiences that are more on your new frequency, okay? Okay, Judy Gooden. So, yeah, Judy, I was getting like fog and mist, and I was trying to, you know, very foggy to me, very foggy. So I think this is symbolic for your vision, so to speak, right now. You're really not seeing things clearly, or you're not really getting a clear picture. So something has been upsetting to you, and it's dug up like these feelings that haven't been dug up in a long time, and this is causing you to not see things clearly right now. And I'm not sure, I wasn't clear who this was involving, because on one hand I felt like it was a child, but it feels like older than that. So I feel like possibly it's an older child who is a little immature, or whoever the person is has a little bit of a childlike you know, attitude. I kind of need you to help me with figure out who that is, because like I said, the way I was interpreting it is it was like a child, but adult child. But I think it's important for you take a step back and work through the feelings so that you or they can see things more clearly. We don't want to cloud our judgment, right? And there seems to be a lot of that going on right now. So don't be afraid of the feelings, sort them out, and the rest will fall into place. Okay. Karen Kirby. So Karen, I keep hearing he hurt me. And I get that there's a lot of hurt feelings right now. And who's the male that passed around you, Karen? Because you're still kind of blaming him for leaving you. And he says, I didn't leave you. I had no choice in the matter, he says, and it was his time. So we have to accept that. And he does say that there's no reason for people to be taking advantage of a situation. And I feel like you know what he's talking about. This is kind of a twofold message, and I'm hoping some of it makes sense to you. So don't let others make you feel like you owe them. And he's looking out for you, and he sends you so much love and caring. So Laura Charlello Maturo, you're new here tonight. Thank you for signing up for a reading. So Laura, it feels like this is your dad coming through, strong male energy, talking about adoring you, and he calls you his little princess for sure. And you may not have been his only daughter or granddaughter, but you were the princess. Were you the youngest? And he talks about being very talented and special, and he says, he always said to you, you can do anything that you want to do. He says not to forget that, because lately you've been feeling like you lost that part of yourself, but it's still there, and you just need to refocus your attention. Someone kind of sidetracked you, and through experience you lost a piece of yourself, but that's not gone, and you can get it back. You can get back in touch with it, and that's what he's pushing you to do. And I feel like that's been his role in your life all along, has always been to kind of keep pushing you forward. He sends so much love to you, and there's a strong smell of lilacs, and also he must have loved to cook, because there was a lot of smell of it reminded me of like sauce, like spaghetti sauce or something, but definitely a lot of cooking going on there. Okay. Let's see. Somebody's saying live isn't working for them. Is anybody else having trouble? I'm going to keep going. So Lisa Flaherty. Lisa, I kept getting the word renewal around you. So this is a time for you to renew yourself. And I think you're feeling it and not sure what it is that you're feeling, right? You're kind of like, I just feel kind of off, and I just kind of don't know what it is. So it's your soul telling you that it's time to put aside some of the fears that have been holding you back this past year and to start taking some chances. And I'm not talking about big chances, hon. I'm just talking about, maybe, doing some of the fun things that are coming your way, because there are some fun opportunities coming your way in the next couple of weeks. And, try not to pass on some of them. Push yourself to maybe do one or two of them and see how you feel. And don't overdo it, but at least try to have some fun with others. I think it's really important for you, because I feel like you're kind of getting closed in, is how I feel it. Lisa Knapp. So this was interesting for me because I felt like something attached to me. So like on the shoulder, representing it being attached to you, Lisa. So I get a lot of movement for you lately, and I get that there's something that has not felt quite right for you. And I feel like this is something, again, like this is that, whatever I was feeling, that it wasn't coming from you directly. I feel like this is some kind of energy that's kind of been around you. I didn't know if you've been somewhere recently where you maybe felt some kind of a connection to something and feel like maybe that energy followed you. And I don't get that it's harmful or hurtful in any way, but I do think it's very attracted to your energy, and wants to be acknowledged. And it almost feels very childlike. And I feel like they're safe. They feel safe with you. Be aware, be aware of it. I know you know how to protect yourself and, use your tools of protection. And I feel like this connection also comes from your feelings, because on some level, or on many levels, you feel very motherly. And that's where your connection is being made with this, okay? Hi, Deb. You were number 1 on the list, hon, so I think you might have missed your reading. You'll have to go back and watch it, but I did do you. Okay, Marcy Hempstead. So, I heard walk the walk. I feel like you've been holding off on something, and I'm not clear exactly on what it is, but it's like you're telling yourself, I have to walk the walk. Like you're trying to change some things and you're trying to follow along and do what needs to be done. Almost like your own personal mantra, walk the walk. I feel like you say that to yourself a lot, or something very similar to that, but I was hearing walk the walk. I'm feeling like it's encouragement, and that you're needing to encourage yourself to keep going forward. You're not getting a lot of that support or encouragement where you are, so it's up to you to keep telling yourself to, walk the walk, keep going forward, keep doing what I'm doing. And know that even though they're not encouraging you, they're watching your journey, right? People may not always say, hey, good for you, I'm proud of you. They may not say that, but they watch, okay? So in some ways, you're encouraging them by showing them that you indeed are taking the steps, you indeed are walking the walk, right? So don't doubt that on some level you're encouraging other people. They may not jump on board right away, but they will see that, it's working. It's working for you. And they're going to want to join in, or they're going to want to try something of their own. So you focus on you right now, and don't let their lack of enthusiasm slow you down. And remember, when people watch us doing things or succeeding, it makes them take a look at themselves, right? And where they are on their journey, or where they're not on their journey. For some people, they get, hey, this isn't a competition, and they can encourage other people. But for some people, it highlights what they think are inadequacies, right? Or things that they have not done. And they compensate for that by making us feel bad or guilty. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay? Let's do Marjorie Elizabeth McMillan. And I'm smiling because this is one of those where grandma comes through. I'm pretty sure this is grandma. Literally with the paper grocery bags, saving them. Like, the paper bags were everywhere. She says she had a lot of bags because you never know when the kids had to paper their books. And she shows the plastic jugs. I mean, she saved everything, all the different containers and their lids. So this really kind of feels like grandma to me. And I feel like she saved a lot of things because she lived through a hard time, as far back as maybe the Depression. And so she's like making the best use out of everything she can. And she talks about the months of May and January. And are those birthdays or anniversaries of death? And she says that you are a lot like her in the way you save things. So, and she gets a kick out of it. Martha Fairbanks. Martha, there's so many people who are trying to lift you up right now. And they are all feeling the hurt and pain that this loss has caused. And they feel it too, and more so right now. Is this a birthday or anniversary of passing? I believe this is your son. And, he says that they're planning to do something to remember him by, which I think they do that all the time. But the way he's saying it, it's like there's something special coming up. And he talks about the video that you keep watching. And he says, listen closely to that video and you'll hear him say something that's very meaningful to you that you have not heard before. Okay? And he's always around you. And the dog sees him. So pay attention. Okay? Martine MV. I don't know how you say that, hon. So I apologize, but it's Martine, capital MV. So, Martine, I was getting a big wave coming in and sweeping you away. And, you know, I wanted to know what the situation that has kind of swept you up and carried you off was. I don't feel like it's anything bad. I feel like it's like a relationship or a situation of some kind. But you've kind of let yourself get caught up, right? Swept up in things. And I'm being told that you need to take it down a notch. And it's okay to be happy and it's okay to be excited, but you've been neglecting other things because of this feeling of being swept up. Allow yourself some space from the situation to refocus and pay attention to the things that you've been ignoring before they become a problem. Okay, let's do Mary Ann Lawrence El Curie. Yeah, this one, Mary Ann, I was getting like creepy crawly things, like little bugs, worms. So I need to ask you, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind is what's bugging you, right? Literally, what's bugging you? What is the annoyance around you right now? The feeling is that they came out of the woodwork and the nooks and crannies, right? So they, all of a sudden they weren't there, and now all of a sudden they're coming out of all these places. You know, this could be people or situations. So the funny thing is, in reality, they were there all along. You just didn't notice them until they decided to make themselves known. So let's take a moment to think about what has possibly changed to allow them to come out and start bugging us, right? Is it something you said? Is it something that changed in you? Did you leave the door open for them to come in, right? Sometimes we make it easy for people to come in and annoy us. Once you have a clearer picture of what it is, then you can work on fixing it. And in the meantime, don't allow the annoyances to take control. Keep them in perspective and keep moving forward, right? That's always what we want to do. We always want to keep moving forward, right? Even if it's baby steps, forward. And I tell myself that all the time. Keep going forward. Just keep going. And eventually, you know, you're going to make some progress and you're going to look back and realize how far you've come. Mary. All right, Mary. Let's see if I get this right for you. So this feels like your dad who's coming through. And he's coming through a little bit anxious, okay? He's not upset. He's just kind of, it's like a nervous energy, but I think he's relating that's coming from you. The nervous energy is actually coming from you. And he talks, what I heard him say, I'm going to say it nicely, but he's going to say, Mary, just say what you think. Because he kind of used a couple choice words in there, not at you, but just because that's the way he speaks. But basically what he's saying is, Mary, just say what you think. You know, where are you holding back? Because, you know, you're not one to really hold back. And I think that is what your dad's saying, you know. Why are you holding back right now? Don't let guilt make you agree to things you don't want to do. So, Mary, you can let me know how I did. Nancy Hunter. So this one, I mean, we're way past Easter, but I was getting Easter eggs and, you know, the Easter basket, you know, and it feels like this is Mom who passed. She keeps talking about the little girl with the Easter basket, and Easter must have been very important in your family. So what is the significance of that for you? Or this particular Easter? It feels like this particular Easter was very important. She talks about the month of October and all the different teas. She says like she had a collection of teas and she was like very proud of them. I hear the number 5 around you, and I'm not sure if she's referring to the number of children or grandchildren, or she could be referring to the month of May, but it felt, I have to go with my first instinct, which was it was a number of children or grandchildren. Also get a strong smell of the tea and some kind of a cookie. And she's like, I dunked everything. And she says, you get that smell once in a while. And that's her trying to get your attention. Okay. Paige Elaine. Paige, there's the one you were looking for. There it is. So you've been looking through or at things that were very similar and having a hard time choosing. And then you found the one. What is the decision that you've been trying to make? It's like it was almost impossible for you to make that choice until it hit you on the head. And there it was. The important thing for you is to trust that feeling and trust this path. Remember, you can always change the path we're on, right? Or the direction that we're traveling. We can always do that. Keep that in mind as you're moving forward. Okay, let's do Patricia Cronenberger. So, Patricia, I felt very much that I had to say this to you. So I'm just going to tell you what I got for you. I wanted you to know that you were encircled by so many loving people, okay, who care about you and your family. And this is both here and from the other, all your relatives and family on the other side and your children. Don't get discouraged because some people cannot see or acknowledge what you're doing. The important thing is that you know what your truth is, okay? And that's important. If we know what our truth is, right, and we stand firmly in it, then yes, some words may hurt us, right? We're still going to feel the hurt once in a while, but we know who we are and what we stand for. So, you know, we have to stand firm in that, right? What is that saying? Speak even though your voice shakes, right? You know, and I remember when I first heard that, that resonated with me so strongly because, you know, I had been going through something where it was like I was standing up for what I believed in. And yeah, my voice was shaky because I was going up against people who, you know, could do some damage if they wanted to. But I stood in my truth. You have to stand in your truth. And even with this, with what I do, you know, and we talk about this in the mentorship class, which, you know, I think Mary posted that we're going to be starting another class. And, you know, Mary or Jen, if you want to comment on how you feel about taking a class, that would be awesome. But, you know, we talk about that and how, you know, when we're doing what we do, we have to stand in our truth because we know what we know. And there's people that will come up to you and, you know, say, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever. But as long as you feel you know what your, you know what your truth is, then you're in a good place. Anyways, okay. So feel sorry for the people who don't take the time to know and understand who we are, right? Because they're the ones that are losing out. And, you know, people will try and make us feel bad. But, I'm sorry, guys. I need to grab a drink real quick. They'll try and make us feel bad. I had a drink. Anyways, I can't find it. Okay. But they'll try and make you feel bad. And you just have to, again, know what your truth is and stand in it. Okay. I am just going to do one thing. Sorry, guys. Okay. Wow, guys, we are like halfway through. There's so many. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's go with, what's next? All right, to Patricia. Sorry, guys, my computer went haywire. Patty Krupke. Patty, I hope you're watching. I know it's been a little while since you've been on. So, okay, Patty, you're ready to let your guard down. Because I feel like you've been on high alert lately with your family, responsibilities, and just like everything anyone can hand off to you. So now you're ready to take some time for yourself, and this is going to be so freeing for you. Are you going anywhere, or is this just that you're finally taking some time to do some things that you love? And don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel bad. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. Paula de Marinville. So this one, yeah, this is, Paula, I actually, let me tell you what I got. I was getting the baseball bat, okay? So who was the baseball player? But they kept swinging the bat. And so I wonder, who is this male? And he just keeps showing the bat, but it's a broken bat, splintered with jagged edges, and almost like the visual was so clear that like I could almost see the pieces of jagged wood. You know, he's got the biggest smile, and he says he had fun and that he is fine where he is right now, but worries about you. Now, he comes through young and playing baseball. That does not necessarily mean that could just be where he's at this point, the memory that he's trying to portray to you. He may have been a little bit older when he passed, but I feel like he's trying to tell you, remember those times when I was younger, okay? Because I feel like there was a period of time when he wasn't able to play any longer, but he has the biggest smile, and he says, you've had a hard time, even though it's been a while, and he says, I lived a very good life, and that's what I want you to remember. He also shows the wallet with the chain on it, and he says he thought it was really cool when he had that, so it's really cool. Robin Haynes. So Robin, I was getting, I heard the word angst, which I don't hear that word often, but I did hear it with sitting with you, with your name. And I'm trying to understand it, right? Because angst means torment, anxiety, worry, sorrow, right? So my question is, who or what is causing this in your life? Because for the amount of angst that you're feeling, or the amount of sorrow, torment, anxiety, I don't get that there's anyone in this world worth that amount of sorrow, anxiety, and torment. The opposite of angst, right, is calm and happy. So how do we get you to that place of calm and happiness, right? That's what we want to do. We want to get you to that place. So first you need to identify the problem and ask yourself, is there anything you can do about it? You know, can you walk away? Think of how you want to handle it and make a plan for yourself, and then take the steps necessary to, you know, make that happen. Don't allow this to continue for yourself, and don't get comfortable in this feeling, because it's not healthy for you. Okay. Let's see. Samuel Pride. Samuel, I just, you know, we had a little discussion the other night. So I feel you're very aware of all the things you're up against, okay? And I think you're well equipped to handle them. The thing I love is that you are so aware, and that you recognize the negative, right? You recognize that negative and what it's trying to do. And we talk about that, you know, in the mentorship, about how negative energy, the goal of negative energy, whether it's a person or a situation or whatever, it's to defeat us, right? And there's a lot of negative in the world, and that's why we learn about the different ways negative energy presents itself to us, and how to be aware of it and how it's impacting us. You know, negative energy and people have the goal of defeating us one way or the other, and it comes in stages, not always all at once, so you don't always recognize it, right? You don't always recognize that it's happening. It may start out there like, oh, I just feel really tired around this person. And then it might be, you know, oh God, every time around this person I get aggravated, or, you know, and then it might drop down to, well, I'm going to kind of just stay away from everybody because I'm not really like, and isolating, that's the worst thing. And then it just keeps progressing, you know, worse and worse. So you have to face it. We're all vulnerable, right? The more we're aware of the stages, we can jump into action to change it before it gets to a bad point. There's sometimes, you know, that we're more vulnerable than others, and that is part of the process of wearing us down to defeat. So dip into your toolbox of protection, right? And make sure that you're using your tools to protect yourself. Okay, let's see. I see some other people have joined us. Let me see, who else do we have? All right, let's do Sandy Clark Hutchinson. Oh my God, I was getting hungry, Sandy, because I was just smelling cookies and cinnamon. So I'm not sure if they were sugar cookies or some kind of, like, what are they, snickerdoodles or something like that. I don't know. I was getting hungry, though, from that smell. So I'm wondering why that smell of cookies around you, because it feels very comforting to me, and it feels like a memory. I was really picking up on the cinnamon, you know, so it felt like somebody really loved the smell of cinnamon, or cinnamon was a trigger for something. It feels very motherly to me, and it feels like she's trying very hard to comfort you. So I, you know, what's going on? It's like she can't bake enough. I mean, she was literally, you know, pulling trays out of the oven, the way I saw her. Like, she was cookie after cookie after cookie, and I feel like she's trying to let you know that she's near and offering comfort. You know, so I guess my question would be, you know, is this more symbolic to you, or is this literal that this woman used to make cookies, you know, and it was a very comforting thing for you? It's like she's trying to tell you, you know, that there's been some sadness around you, and that she's there with you, trying to offer her love and support. Okay, let's do Seth Lampkin. Seth, I was getting, is it time for a vacation yet? Like, you're just craving some fun in the sun, and you've been working really hard lately. And I feel like there's somebody that you've been taking care of almost on a daily basis, and it feels like it's starting to kind of stress you out, you know. And not that you don't want to help this person, you know. It's just, it's starting to take a toll on you a little bit, and you're starting to feel like you're ready to just go, you know. So seriously, take some time for yourself. Find someone that can help you with what you're doing. You know, everything that you're doing for this person is important and is very appreciated. So don't doubt that. Just plan some time for yourself so you don't tire yourself out. Okay, We don't want to do that because it's hard for us to give to other people when we have nothing inside of us to give. Let's do Shelly Chambers. Shelly, I was getting the car. Okay, and this is one of those things where I'll get a car and I think about it and I'm like, okay, is this really her car or is this symbolic? Okay. And when I'm doing a one-on-one reading, a lot of times that's where, I depend on you to kind of help me sort out what it is that I'm getting, because they're trying to get their message through to you. And it's almost like a game of charades. Like they'll show me something and I'm trying to interpret it for you and get you to the same point that we're at. So it's something about the car. I get a little broken down, a little dented. And the car can represent where we're going in life, movement and forward. So if it's not literal that, something has happened to your car today or, within the last couple of weeks, then I have to ask you, where are you feeling like you're not moving forward in your life? Because it seems like it's impacting you on a lot of different levels. And this feeling of not moving forward, right, of spinning our wheels and feeling a little battered, just remember that this is temporary. And that sometimes if we think we're spinning our wheels, the best thing to do is what? The best thing to do is to just stop, right? So we don't tire ourselves out, so we don't burn out. And sometimes just stopping for that short bit of time and then going back to it, there'll be a little shift forward, right? And once that shift happens, right, we get that big movement that we want. Let's see, Sonia Manfort. All right, so Sonia, I was getting, I got like a lost feeling. Like, where did it all go? And I was trying to think, are you thinking about like time slipping away so quickly? What is it that you're feeling that is moving away so quickly? And I get like this floaty feeling of just like drifting through the last couple of weeks, not really knowing what to focus on. And I think we get like that sometimes, right? And we don't, there are days when we just kind of go through the day and go through the motions and don't really have any kind of goals for ourselves. And we have to be okay with that. Right? We have to be kind to ourselves and not get upset when we have days like that. Sometimes it's the weather. Sometimes we just feel like that, right? Don't fill your head up with I should be doing this or I should be doing that, right? Because, yeah, we should be doing a lot of things. But you want to change the wording in your head. And change all your shoulds to coulds and say, I could do that, right? And then accept how you respond to that. If you say, I could mow the lawn, and you jump up and do it, well, that's great, right? But if you say, shrug your shoulders and say, well, it's going to rain, so I think I'll just wait, then be okay with that too. I'm not saying shrug off all your responsibilities, but I'm saying be patient with yourself, because there are days when you need to do that, whatever the situation is. And that lost feeling is going to go away. As you're more forgiving of yourself, or maybe, not getting done with what you think you should, you're going to start to free up your mind, okay? Because you're not so like, oh my God, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Let some of that go, so you free up some of the space in your mind, and then you get to refocus. It's there, hun. Just give yourself a break, okay? Tammy Knipe. Let's do Tammy. Okay. Tammy, I know, and you guys, I think you guys know this. Most of you who watch me know that when I've done a reading for somebody, I usually acknowledge that, or if I know something ahead of time, I will acknowledge that. So I know Tammy has been going through some physical stuff. Okay, because I believe in transparency, so I believe that, if I already know something, I'm going to say, I already know this about you, but, okay, so I know she's been going through some physical stuff lately. Tammy, you need to keep looking forward and know that there's an end in sight, and I know it doesn't seem like it right now, because it seems like the days are forever, but just know you're in great company from the other side, okay? Yeah, your brother is working overtime for you, trying to entertain you, and I'm pretty sure you're getting some of the signs from him, the television and little pranks around the house, and I'm going to guarantee that, and you can confirm that for me. And I know you and I have a reading next week, and we'll communicate more with your brother, who comes through amazingly strong for you every time, so I'm looking forward to that. But hang in there, sweetie, because it's going to get better, okay? Let's do Terry Gedney Severn. So Terry, I was getting definitely strong male energy. Grandpa, probably, even, I want to say, honey, even back to great grandpa, but he said not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So he's using, old-fashioned kind of terminology and logic, and trying to tell you not to throw everything out just because things are a little murky right now. And he used that word murky. where's this happening in your life? Because it feels like, murky water, and you're kind of swimming in it. And I heard staying afloat, but it's so murky that you're worried about all that stuff that you're not seeing, right? And I think that it's really kind of symbolic with how you're feeling right now about things or a person. So maybe give the situation or the person a little time to become clear, okay? And that doesn't mean forever. It means set your boundary or time limit that you allow this person to work on the situation, and then you figure out what you need to do. And it's really hard when a situation or someone is not being clear with us, right? Either on purpose or because they haven't done the work on themselves and can't be clear. The important thing is for you not to get stuck in all of that muck, right? Don't get stuck there. Okay. Tyrus Deal. So Tyrus, you were asking about career, different things like that. What I got for you was, yeah, you're on the right track. There are some good things happening for you right now, and know that you're going in the right direction. You've had some doubts lately in which direction to go. I feel like this is your dad, because he says jokingly, head east, young man, because that's what I keep hearing, not as a direct order, but as a way of saying, just pick a direction and go, right? Because when we hesitate, we lose out. You've got the right thoughts on the subject in your mind. You're thinking the right way. Just stay the course and it's going to be okay. Valerie Rinaldi. Okay. So Valerie, I got some sadness around you lately. And it feels like an anniversary of sorts. Is this your dad who passed away? And it's a very strong male energy around you. And he says he's been trying really hard to let you know he's near. The cigarette smell, big time, big time. And I don't know if you're picking up on that at all, but I did. And I also, the smell of the bleach. He talks about the garden and the bleach. Now, I don't know, but it was something that he did with the bleach. Was he using it outside for the bugs or something? I don't know, but it was something about the garden and the bleach. And also you're going to be helping someone with their health challenges, not life-threatening, but it's going to be something that's going to be keeping you busy for a while with like testing and different things like that. Feels a little bit related to like respiratory, like asthma or something. Again, not serious, just more like of a allergy, irritation kind of thing. But I think it's going to be keeping you busy for a while. Let's, Wendy Claire Violisi. Okay. Yeah. This one, I was getting anxiety, and I think it's coming from you, but I feel like you're walking behind somebody, or you feel like you're walking behind somebody. You may not actually be doing this, but it feels like you're walking behind somebody, literally picking up all the pieces and fixing all the mistakes and being like this close to the person because you just don't want them to fall. Okay. And that's what it feels like. Like it feels like you feel you have to be right there. And I keep hearing that you're not telling them, or you're not letting them learn their lessons because you keep saving them. And in the long run, we're holding back someone's growth by doing that over and over again. And you're keeping them from growing and realizing something about themselves. That doesn't mean that we don't help people, but maybe we change the way we help, right? Maybe it becomes more of giving guidance on how they can fix something instead of cleaning up the messes for them. So hard to do with our loved ones, right? And especially our children, because our kids bring up all these deep emotions and we want the best for them. Right? But again, our children are lent to us for a period of time. They're here to live their own lives and walk their own paths. And the other part of that is not to feel like you're doing anything wrong by allowing them to learn their lessons, no matter who it is. Okay? And I think that we are done for tonight. So I hope you guys feel like you got something from your reading. If you have questions, please reach out. I have no problem with people reaching out to me with any kind of questions. I hope you take advantage of the reading special. I hope you, if you're interested in learning some of this, I hope you take advantage of the mentorship class. The girls can tell you, I think they're getting a lot out of it. I think they're enjoying it. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. So, if you think it's something you might want to learn to do, and you don't have to do readings, you don't have to read people. A lot of the information you get is helpful, in your own life. It's information that you can use to, help yourself navigate through everyday situations. So drop a line, say hello. Leave me your questions. If you have questions for next week, we can do that too. So again, thank you guys. Love you all. Bye.